All right. Well, first of all, everybody, welcome. Thank you for tuning in live here tonight, or maybe you're watching this on a replay, watch party, whatever. But this is going to be really exciting. You know, we've done two interviews so far. We titled this "Interview with a Scientist," of course, part three, meaning we did parts one and two. If you haven't seen them yet, I will post links below. Well, once I upload this to YouTube, I'll put links, so it's easy for you guys to reference for the first and second interview, of course. And if you're watching this on Facebook in my private group, I'll go ahead and put those links below. But we are going to pick right up here with Dennis Angone. Dennis is a scientist. Dennis, for those who may be tuning in for the first time, why don't you give us a quick 30-second, 1-minute background on who you are and, what your background is.
Hello, my name is Dennis Angone, and I'm a scientist, chemist background, and master degree chemist, and for practicing a long time, still practicing. I kid around with everybody at work and say I'll probably practice for another 30, 40 years, but we'll see what happens. Other than that, my background is, again, from Stripe, from Health Stripe as a young person. I learned a lot about health and nutrition, adding what the doctor has to say for you, but also learn enough that I can actually assist in my recoveries, and actually I was able to resolve my issue based on utilizing naturopathic methods. That's been doing this for over 47 years now. So it works, and that's who I am. And at this point, my goal is to reach out to everybody on this planet to let them know, hey, I'm another one here to help out, to actually advise, or actually give you my best scientific opinion on how you can be healthy for the rest of your life and possibly extend your longevity. That's
awesome. Awesome, man. That's a great intro. And for those of you who aren't aware, we've been specifically talking about ketones, and even more specifically, exogenous ketones, which are ketones that you drink that your body's not making. So you're taking them in from an external source. And even more specifically, we've been talking about this product, Ketogen 4, or this one is KG4. We have two different versions. One of them has artificial sweeteners. The other does not. Other than that, they're completely identical. And they're different flavors too. But there's a kiwi peach, and this is a citrus orchard. But Dennis, I know we have an outline tonight you sent with me. I'm really excited for you to get into it, going a little bit deeper into some of the things that this product could, I was going to say, do for somebody. Of course, we can't make any promises, no guarantees. But based on your research, I know you have quite a few interesting bullet points and topics to cover tonight. So I'll let you go ahead and get right started where you want to begin.
Okay. First thing, I can guarantee one thing about the product. The ingredients are in there, and that's number one. And number two, there's scientific background out there in literature of research and clinical studies that backs up what the product's supposed to do for you. So that's the whole point of my presentations, and we're breaking it down. There are part one covered the basic principles of benefits of beta-hydroxybutyrate. That's part one. Part two covered the benefits of the adaptogenic proprietary blend. That was part two. And most importantly, just to mention again, we covered the immune system, and I covered the antiviral effects that exist based on scientific literature. And just want to focus a little bit on the flu and the coronavirus that has everybody scared on the planet. So the whole best fight towards that is having a good immune system. That's the World Health Organization and NIH recommends.
So what you just said is that taking this product will cure and prevent one from getting the coronavirus, right?
No.
No, I'm kidding.
What it will do, it will work with your body to give your body the necessary ingredients,
right.
So the body can maximize its performance, that your body's immune system can kill and protect your body against all viruses, including corona. And again, no one knows about this coronavirus, but so far, looking at statistics, so far it's not as bad as they're saying it, but they're still being very cautious.
Of course, yeah.
And you should be cautious too.
Yep, absolutely. Absolutely.
So I just want to read this thing because this is something I just picked up. This is will coronavirus spread to the U.S.? Okay. And on February 25th, U.S. officials said it's no longer a matter of if, but when the new coronavirus will spread in the United States. Okay. That's number one. Okay. That came off the NIH. The Chinese Center for Disease Control and Prevention, not sure if we can believe those guys, but we'll see what happens, is reporting that the coronavirus is up to 20 times more deadly than the flu. All right, remember last time I told you flu kills about 12 to 15,000 people a year. With a fatality rate of 2.3%. In the United States, seasonal flu fatality rate is 0.1, they're claiming. Okay, so their claim is so much greater. We'll see so far, thank goodness. I mean, about 1,700 people has passed, and that is terrible. But we'll see how that goes in the future. Again, immune system is a key thing, and good sanitary procedures. Wash your hands, things like that. Okay. We're talking about part 3 now.
Mm-hmm.
This is the second of a 5-part support system that's in this Ketogen 4. Okay, this is not just beta hydroxybutirates. This is a complete wellness formula, and you need to understand that because that's what makes this different, and that's what brought me into saying, hey, I'm going to utilize it for my family and my life.
Speaking of that, let me pause you right there because quite a few people had sent in questions, and I was planning on maybe addressing those questions later on in our series here. But in the meantime, one of them that came in quite often was, what are your thoughts on somebody giving this to their children? Is it safe to give to a child? If so, what age? Do you cut the dose down? So can you take a few minutes and talk about that? Because quite a few people asked about that.
Okay.
Well, for example, I have a 7-year-old and a 4-year-old in addition to the teenagers. So let's just talk about the young ones. Can they take it?
Okay. First place, there's nothing in the product that is dangerous. That's number one. Okay. I wouldn't give them at the formula concentration as that they recommend for an adult. Okay. I always start off very carefully, like 1/10 the concentration. So basically what you do is you make a glass full, which is a 12 or 16 ounce glass. Okay. And you give them 2 ounces.
Right.
Okay. However, before I do that, I will let my doctor know, because only reason why I'm saying, because we're talking, I am not a doctor. I'm a scientist. So like to always bring the medical, you're paying the guy for something, right? Yeah. So see him. When you see him, say, hey, I want to give him this product, and here's what the product does. And you could take my videos and my writings to them and say, here's what it does. Okay. This is not somebody's fantasy. This is pure science out there in research and clinical studies. Mm-hmm. And in clinical studies, they have given it to newborns 2 weeks to 8 weeks old to save their lives. They had a disease, and the only thing that would work was the beta hydroxybutirates. So it won't damage the child, that's for sure. The thing is that you don't want to go on a ketone diet with them. Okay, so basically, I always recommend for children, especially with the amount of ADDs and hyperactivity we have in this country, which is outlandish at this point. I would say low glycemic diet for a child is highly preferable. You get carbs in there, not a lot, but you get the right carbs, and you get a lot of vegetables in there, and give them some very good fruit. Right. And try not to get the fruit that's all sugary. You know what I mean? Try to get some fruit in there that has some substance to it, like the berries and things like that. So that's my recommendation or suggestion. But again, I will not prescribe. I can't. And also, you're the parent, and you have the right to give your child what you think is best for their health.
Right. Got it. Okay. Appreciate that. Yeah, I definitely promised a few people I would ask you that tonight. So go ahead, right back into it. You were about to get into your first point?
Yes. As I said, this is, so basically the ingredients, I'm going to cover the fat burning and mental focus.
Got it. Okay.
Of this blend. Okay. This blend has 491 milligrams. Okay. That's a half a gram of the following ingredients. And again, you have to understand that these are in synergism to each other. Each one has a part. They do certain things. and combined, they become a strength. The combination is better than the individuals. Okay.
Got it.
So I'm just going to mention them real quickly. I'm not going to go through every one of them, just the important ones. Okay. This has L-carnitine tartrate, betaine, which also trimethylglycine is also called. You might see it out there in the market out there. Bacopa monnieri, a whole herb powder, coffee fruit, okay, which is basically a slow release of caffeine. Dicaffeine malate, there's a reason why they're doing that, and I'll explain why. Caffeine anhydrous caffeine, that's what it means, dehydrated caffeine, that's what that means. N-acyl L-carnitine, okay, and theobromine, okay, those are the major ingredients. And there's the velvet bean, okay. So theobromine, okay, I like that compound, okay. It's keep the level of medium dose for positive effects, okay, they use, okay. This supports the brain, okay. What it does, it actually allows for survival of the brain cells and neural functions. That's what it does, okay. I'm not going to go into all the chemistry here because I don't want, I don't want to lose that. And basically, you want to know that, ask for my, everyone has a newsletter on this. We can send a newsletter. And I'll give them as much chemistry as you want. If you want a doctor that wants the chemical structures, I'll give them that too. Whatever the doctor wants, we'll give them, okay? So again, it increases brain processes, okay? There is also it says, cell survival and neural function. That has to do with learning and memory. So anybody has a difficult time learning memory, this is great to have. However, just imagine the college student who has to stay up all night to cram things in his brain, and he finds he's too exhausted, and when he tries to get the test, and he fails, or he does a low mark. Well, take this product 2-3 weeks ahead of time, and that person's his or her learning capabilities and memory will increase, and you don't have to cram so much because you remember it, and you get straight A's, in my opinion. Okay. I know it helps my clarity of my mind. Not that I'm not that old yet. I said I'm only middle aged, defined by me. Anyway, right. Most of my friends and acquaintances my age are basically retired at this point. So they asked me when I'm going to retire, and I said when I can't jump up onto a counter that's 38 inches tall without assistance, when I can't do that, I'll retire.
Got it.
Okay, so yeah, I love what I do. I mean, that's the reason to retire. There's betaine. Okay, that's the one I said was trimethylglycine. Okay, that reduces the effect of homocysteine. How many people out there have heard of homocysteine?
I have no idea what it is, but I've certainly heard of it.
Okay, well, you know this much, right? If you go to a medical, you go for your annual physical for your doctor. If he's a doctor has understanding of health, he will include a homocysteine level in your blood test. Okay, the high levels of homocysteine has been this is not a cause and effect. This is an indicator. Okay, and it indicates the probability of having a heart attack.
Okay.
So basically, low homocysteine level, good. High homocysteine level, be careful. We have to then look at what's going on, and that's what it means. Okay.
Got it.
Also, it reduces inflammation. Now, I told you many times over, anything you can do to reduce inflammation is a positive. Inflammation is responsible for the breakdown of your cellular structure, your brain, and your health. And it's an additive for almost every disease known to man. So inflammation, it reduces it. It's good to have. Betaine has also beneficial actions in several human diseases. Okay, I'm going to give you a couple of them. Okay, and these are all diseases. Obesity is a disease, as we know. Okay, diabetes, as we know, since the 60s to now, diabetes is so many more people have it. It's actually out of control. And That's a major disease, so it helps with that. Cancer, okay? Probability of getting cancer and even have cancer, okay? It helps. And Alzheimer's disease. So those are the things that, oh, by the way, Alzheimer's disease is going to be one of the number one issues in the American challenge in the future.
Yeah.
It's right now getting outlandish. Okay, they're opening up all these assisted living places, and they also these nursing homes, and they have Alzheimer's, dementia wards.
Yeah.
And they're getting bigger and bigger every day. If you haven't been to one, by the way, you need to go there. I recommend everybody from the age of 20 on, go visit. First, say hello to people because they love seeing young people. They like seeing anybody.
Yeah.
However, it will give you a perspective on what's important in life. And your Audi and your Mercedes is not as important as your health.
Yeah.
What else we have? Okay. L-carnitine tartrate and N-acyl L-carnitine, okay? These compounds crosses the brain barrier to deliver beneficial effects to the brain. Okay, that's very important. What are they? They're neuroprotection, okay? They protect your neurons, okay? There's a lot of free radical damage that goes on in the brain. The brain is high energy, you know that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Other than the heart, the brain is probably the most active organ in the body. They're both very active. So the production of acetylcholine, a power neurotransmitter, has developed. It's very healthy. It's helpful in this. I love this because, I said I'm getting close to that. Aging brain. Okay. L-carnitine promotes muscle deposition instead of fat. That's important because as you get older, naturally your hormone structure develops in such a way where your body preferentially develops fat and breaks down. It's called apoptosis, okay, programmed cell death of your muscle structure. So your muscles get less and your fat content gets higher. And you're at the same calorie level. That's why everybody starts, after a certain age, starts putting on the weight and things like that. They're starting to look, actually they put on the fat. They're starting to get bigger.
Yeah.
That's what happens, okay? Increase in muscle recovery. Now, anybody who does any exercise, even if you don't do exercise, the fact that have muscle recovery increases, you want that. Because, we beat ourselves up every single day in life. And 70%, this is important, 70% of the metabolic energy required by the heart is supplied by these fatty acids. So no other organ in the body has higher concentration of L-carnitine. There's a reason why that organ has L-carnitine, and to take it within the body is only helpful. Okay?
Yep.
And then what's this other one? Bacopa monnieri. Okay? This is good for memory loss, cognitive decline, reduce anxiety. Now, how many people think in America have anxiety?
Quite a few.
Yes. In fact, it's an outbreak. It's a real outbreak. Okay. And that might be one of the problems we're having with even our children, by the way. When I was going to school, never heard of anybody walking to school shooting people.
Yeah.
That only happened, I think, in the 90s started. But the anxiety level and the schizophrenia and all these neurological disorders on children were very prevalent.
Mm-hmm.
And I blame our diet program, high carb diet program that America went on in 1975, and the use of all these fast foods on a consistent basis and having all these foods. I go to the store all the time. Except I'm a food chemist too, also. I've been in the food industry for 45 years.
Mm-hmm.
And I go to the store and I look at the packages and I shake my head and say, this is no good, this is no good, this is good. Hard to find anything in the freezer other than vegetables that's any good for you. Yeah. But yet that becomes the diet for these children. I grew up, my mother made my food when I was a kid, fresh on the table. And maybe that's why we don't have as much anxiety that the young kids have.
Yeah.
And what else? Yes. Studies add the increased scientific evidence supporting cognitive enhancements. Okay, so and that effects of this compound in humans. That is big. Why? Because the NIH published that.
Mhm.
For the NIH to publish anything, okay, it has to be like over the top, okay, because they're very, very conservative, as you know. Okay, so we're up to the coffee fruit, dicaffeine, malate, as I said, and caffeine anhydrous. So let's lump them together because this is for energy, okay, basically, mostly. This is for focus, energy, calming the digestive system, and prevention of post-caffeine crash. Because I want to put that in because most people say, hey, I'll just drink coffee.
Right.
Like, why bother with it? Why bother with taking this? I'll just drink coffee. In coffee, you drink coffee. Well, do you drink coffee?
I do. Yes.
Okay. Have you ever had like you drink like 12, 16 ounces of a cup of coffee, and about 2 hours later you got crash?
Always.
Okay.
Yeah.
So basically, that's with this combination, you don't get the crash.
Right.
All right. So you need the energy. Coffee. The ingredients in coffee is very good for your brain, focusing. Everybody knows that. It's extremely good within moderation, of course,
Yeah.
but it's excellent for you. However, you get the crash, and that is not good for you.
Right.
Okay, so you get energy deprivation. Everything goes on, and then you feel worse. The next time you take more coffee, then more coffee. I had a chemist work for me back in the 80s, and this guy got so hooked on coffee every day, more and more coffee, that he walking, trying to do the pipetting in the laboratory.
Mhm.
His hands were shaking. And I said, "What are you doing? You stop your coffee." You know what I mean?
It's a bit much.
So that's a bit much.
Yeah.
So this does that, and basically the dicaffeine malate also that gives us a more sustained level of caffeine in your body
Mhm.
because its half-life. You know what a half-life is?
Yeah. Somebody told me the half-life of caffeine or coffee, I guess, is 6 hours. Is that true?
Yeah, somewhere like that. Okay.
Yeah.
So,
So meaning in 6 hours, if you drank 300 milligrams, you would have 150 left 6 hours later. So it goes down by half, right?
correct, and but that's a totally metabolically directed.
Right.
Okay, so a high metabolic person might be 4 hours,
Right.
another might be 7 hours, but 6 hours is about the average. Yes. Well, this has a greater half-life. Okay, so the ingredients in the coffee will last longer. That's one of the reasons why you don't get the crash.
Got it.
Okay, so that's what that's about. And those pretty much, I believe, are most of the ingredients that I want to cover in here.
Okay.
Just want to cover. Do we have time to go over the value of ketogene for?
We do, but let me pause there for 1 second because I think one thing that a lot of people don't understand. I think relatively overall in the marketplace, the introduction of your BHB or I don't know, did you say it's called butyl hydroxybutyrate? What is it called? How's that?
Beta
Beta.
hydroxybutyrate.
Okay. BHB salts. And it's funny, Dennis, because a lot of people will say, oh, well, speaking of cost, I know you're going to get into that. Well, I found these BHB salts and they were half the price of what you guys have, right?
Oh, yeah. Matter of fact, there's some that the sells for like $31.
Right. But they'll have, we have 4 salts. We already talked about that in the one interview, excuse me. Some of them have 2, maybe 3. None of them have 4. And they don't have any of the things that you just ran through or on last week or this entire, like this is such a well thought out product. And I know it sounds cliche, but there's literally no competition. There is nothing on the market that contains what's in this jug. And I've been telling people that, and I was so excited to get these recordings done with you, these interviews. So from not a salesperson's perspective, but from a scientific perspective, exactly why is that? So I'm really glad you were able to come in and explain all that. A lot of it, I think you broke it down enough where somebody even like me could understand it, which is good.
Yep.
But I know you really looked into the cost and different analogies and, with things in the marketplace. So yeah, I would love for you to get into that.
Okay, here's what I did. I went on the web and I went into the big stores and I looked at what was available. And what I did, I picked out middle of the market value, quality value. Okay, I didn't get the highest what I had out there, didn't pick out the lowest, just the middle. Okay. First place, you're right. Nothing is anywhere near Ketogen 4. It took me to put together 8 different products to give you something that might mirror what Ketogen 4 does.
Mm-hmm.
There's 8 products. That's huge, okay? So the bottom line is this. The price differential, we are 1/3, less than 1/3 the price of what it would cost you to match with these 8 products to give you somewhat an effect that the Ketogen 4 will do. Now, here's the difference though, okay? Our formula is designed to work in synergy with each other. They're purposely designed that way, in balance. And that's how your body likes it, and maximize in your body. The other one, when you mix and match, you hope for the best.
Mm.
You hope that the manufacturer is good. You hope the ingredients are in there, and you hope that you're getting the right combinations and formulations. And it's get very complex, especially when you're talking about 50 to 100 different ingredients. You know, that's get very complex. I wouldn't do it, even as a chemist. I would rather start with the raw ingredients, put it together myself in my lab.
Right.
So basically, you're mixing and matching. You're hoping for the best, and it's going to cost you more than about 3 times the price of our product. And so our product is a bargain, okay, for what it does. And think of this. I live in an area that the average person, basically almost close to the average person, is driving a Mercedes, Maseratis, and BMWs. That's what they drive.
Mm-hmm.
And then they come out of their car, and I see them, and people probably 10 to 20 years younger than I am, walk out of those cars and look at them and I say, automatically, my mind goes, okay, this person has this problem, that problem. I can look at you and tell you what your problems are. And these people are going to be sick, some of them, and some of them are going to be sick very soon. So my question is, what's more valuable? A Mercedes, which is going to cost you about $1,000 a month? About $1,000 a month, because they don't buy them, they rent them.
Yeah.
Okay. Or for a little bit more dollars, you put something in your body that will keep you healthy for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
So that's the choice everybody has. And unfortunately, in our society, these great commercials and everybody just wants. You know what I mean? But I personally feel, I know how I live my life, maybe because I said I lost my health at a young age, that to me, the most important thing in life is my health and wellness. And I'm hoping this series is going to bring people an awareness, and hopefully they communicate back to me. By the way, my email address is aboutyourhealth@hotmail.com. So I do appreciate any emails that come through. In this video, I hope you like it. If so, press like. It helps a lot. And also, give me a comment. You know what I mean? Something you want to know, or did you like what I said? Anything. Just give me a comment. And what I'm going to open up to the group this time is that, and I hope I don't get 100,000 of these. But for the first 200 respondents to me, okay, I will send them back I'll send them a symptomatology form, okay, it's very unique, and they send it back to me, and I'll give them what I believe their nutritional health is.
That's great.
Okay.
That's awesome. Okay. So once again, how do people reach out to you? What's the email address once again? It's About Your Health.
About, ABOUT.
Okay.
Your, YOUR, health, HEALTH, @hotmail.com. So I purposely chose that because it's something you can't forget.
Exactly. And I'll put this link below in our Facebook group. When I get this up on YouTube, of course, I'll get you guys that as well. And Dennis, I think that's good for tonight. I think that wraps it up. This was a very in-depth conversation. And again, extremely helpful, especially how you kind of brought everything full circle in the end for people saying, well, I saw this other, keto product. It goes, guys, if you've been paying attention, it's a lot more than that. It's a whole lot more than that. So I'm really looking forward to our next one, Dennis. We'll get together in the next day or two. We'll schedule that out, pick the topic, and get a date on the calendar. But I want to thank you for your time tonight. This was extremely helpful for me, as well as I can speak for quite a few other people and say thank you. And very much looking forward to the next one. Okay. And if you don't mind, I just wanted to put a call out there.
Sure. To our brave firefighters of America. They just saw another situation from our 9/11. Somebody else just had passed away. And this is happening all the time. And if you know any firefighter, let them know about this, because this can help help the body protect them and possibly not have as much disastrous situations going on in America. Because I see the faces of the loved ones, and it's terrible.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
and I want to thank every firefighter in America for their bravery and what they do for us.
100% agreement. 100%. So we have a few in our group actually. So amen to that. So, all right, my friend, great job again. Have a great night, guys. Thanks for tuning in. Catch us next time, and you all have a wonderful night. God bless. Take care.